It's crazy to think about, right? Like every 2 minutes, somewhere in the U.S., a murder goes unsolved.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's really it's a staggering statistic when you think about it.
And all those cases that turn cold,
Yeah.
and families are just left with these unanswered questions, just yearning for closure.
Absolutely.
So today we're diving deep into one of those cases that's haunted Reno, Nevada for almost 40 years.
Oh, wow.
The murder of Kirsten Leonard.
This case has always fascinated me. Just the sheer number of clues right from the beginning. It's
right.
almost as if we had all the pieces of the puzzle,
Yeah.
but we just couldn't figure out how to put them together.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to try to do today, right? Examine those pieces and hopefully maybe bring some closure to Kirsten's family.
Let's do it.
All right, so let's go back in time to June 1986.
Okay.
Kirsten, a young woman who had just moved from California, is found murdered in her apartment. It was a Thursday afternoon, seemingly ordinary day. Her apartment manager, Bill, he's making his rounds, collecting rent knocks on Kirsten's door. No answer. He had tried the day before, too.
Right.
Same thing.
And that's where things start to get a little bit strange, right?
Yeah.
Kirsten was very reliable with her rent payments.
Right.
So this sudden silence was definitely out of character for her.
Absolutely. Now, at about the same time, Kirsten's boyfriend shows up.
Okay.
They hadn't been dating long, only about 3 weeks, but he hadn't been able to reach her for days.
Oh, wow.
So he and Bill decide to take a look inside the apartment.
Oh, God.
They didn't have a key, so they had to get creative.
Right.
Kirsten's apartment was a first-floor corner unit with an accessible window.
So right away, you've got this unlocked window.
Yeah.
Adding another layer of complexity to the crime scene, right?
Exactly.
The front door was bolted from the inside.
Yeah.
So did the killer stage the scene, or was there another way out?
That's a great question, and it really adds to the mystery.
Yeah.
So they climb up to this windowsill. They push the screen aside. They peer in.
Uh-huh.
And what they find is this horrific scene. It's forever etched in their memories.
I can imagine.
Kirsten's body lying on her side in bed, partially unclothed, with multiple stab wounds.
Oh, my goodness.
Gruesome discovery sends shockwaves through the community.
It makes you wonder, the lack of defensive wounds suggests that Kirsten may have been caught completely off guard or was somehow incapacitated, unable to fight back.
Right.
So was this a quick and brutal attack?
Right.
Or did she know her attacker?
Yeah, and then there's this bloody fingerprint found smeared on the door frame. This becomes a huge focal point in the investigation.
Of course.
Right? Or was it left there during a struggle?
Yeah.
A desperate attempt to escape? Or was it planted there to mislead investigators?
It's a good question.
The question that's haunted this case for years.
And you have to remember, this is 1986.
Right.
DNA analysis wasn't nearly as advanced as it is today. So that fingerprint, that single bloody smudge, was potentially the key to cracking the case wide open.
Such a fascinating but frustrating piece of evidence.
It is so close to an answer, but still so elusive.
And then just to add another layer of complexity,
Oh, no.
there are these conflicting reports about when Kirsten was last seen alive.
Oh, wow.
Some witnesses said they saw her a couple days before her body was discovered, while others insisted they had talked to her earlier that week.
Okay, so you've got this tangled web of timelines. It makes it incredibly difficult for investigators to figure out exactly what happened.
Absolutely, like trying to solve a puzzle where the pieces keep shifting.
Yeah.
But despite these inconsistencies, investigators had some key people to focus on.
Okay.
Starting with the boyfriend. His fingerprints didn't match the one at the scene. He passed a polygraph. But some of his statements to the police were, let's just say, a little odd.
Interesting.
His behavior, while understandable given the circumstances, introduced a level of uncertainty. He initially told the police he had gone into the apartment, but then later retracted that statement.
Okay.
So was he confused in shock, or was there something he didn't want to reveal?
Yeah, you never know.
Classic element of a good mystery.
Right, exactly.
The seemingly reliable witness who might be holding back crucial information.
Right.
Then there were Kirsten's neighbors.
Okay.
Not a lot to go on there, but one did report hearing a disturbance a couple nights before Kirsten's body was found. But they couldn't say for sure if it came from her apartment.
Right.
And then there's the noise complaint.
Oh.
Reports of loud music and a party at Kirsten's place.
Okay.
Just a few days before she was found.
So this noise complaint, combined with the neighbor's report,
Right.
suggests there was some kind of social gathering, maybe a party at Kirsten's apartment,
Yeah.
just a few days before she was murdered.
Exactly.
And figuring out who was at that party could be really important.
Right. Were they just casual friends? Close friends? Or was there someone there with more sinister intentions?
It's a great question, and it makes you wonder, did anyone at that party see something, something they didn't realize was important at the time?
Exactly. And that's a question that's plagued investigators for decades.
For sure.
So we've got this web of potential leads, conflicting timelines, and the sense that someone somewhere knows more than they're letting on.
Right. A lot to unpack.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we've got this web of potential leads, conflicting timelines, a sense that someone somewhere knows more than they're letting on.
Yeah, definitely a lot of threads to untangle.
Absolutely. But let's not forget about the physical evidence.
Right.
We talked about that bloody fingerprint. What other forensic clues did investigators have to work with back in 1986?
Well, the autopsy, right, conducted the day after Kirsten's body was discovered,
Right.
confirmed the cause of death was multiple stab wounds to the torso.
Yeah, makes sense.
But it also revealed something else pretty significant.
How?
There were no signs of defensive wounds.
No defensive wounds. Huh. That's kind of unusual, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
I mean, wouldn't you instinctively try to fight back if someone was attacking you?
Exactly. And the absence of those defensive wounds suggests a few possibilities.
Right.
Maybe Kirsten was completely caught off guard, attacked from behind,
Yeah.
or perhaps she knew her attacker, maybe even trusted them,
Right.
and didn't see the attack coming.
Right.
It's also possible she was incapacitated somehow, unable to defend herself.
It's a chilling thought, but it's a crucial piece of the puzzle.
Absolutely.
And then there's the sexual assault evidence kit.
Right.
That must have provided some valuable information, right?
It did, yeah. The kit revealed the presence of semen,
Oh, good.
which meant investigators had a potential DNA sample from the perpetrator.
Oh, wow, that's huge.
It was, but here's where the limitations of technology in 1986 come into play.
Oh.
While fingerprints could be compared against existing records, DNA analysis was still in its early stages.
So they couldn't immediately use that semen sample to identify the killer.
Not at that time, no. But thinking ahead, they preserved the sample meticulously,
Smart.
hoping that future advancements in DNA technology would eventually make analysis possible.
It was a gamble,
Right.
a leap of faith, but a decision that could ultimately solve the case.
It definitely could.
And a gamble that might just pay off.
Fingers crossed.
But in the meantime, the case went cold.
Ugh, I hate when that happens.
8 long years with no answers, no justice for Kirsten.
It's heartbreaking.
Can you imagine the frustration, the agony her family must have gone through?
It's hard to even fathom the pain of not knowing what happened to your loved one.
Absolutely. And as each year passes, memories fade, witnesses become harder to locate, evidence can deteriorate.
Right. Every passing year just makes the quest for the truth even more challenging.
Exactly. It's like the clock is ticking and the answers are slipping further away.
Yeah, it's a race against time.
Then in 1994, a glimmer of hope appears.
Really?
Investigators thought they'd finally found their suspect.
Oh, wow.
Someone who was already imprisoned for another crime. It must have felt like they were on the verge of a breakthrough.
Absolutely. A chance to finally get some answers for Kirsten and her family.
Exactly. But this new lead, this surge of hope, was short-lived.
Oh, no. What happened?
The suspect's fingerprints didn't match the one at the crime scene, and the investigation hit another dead end.
What a devastating blow. To have that hope rekindled only to have it dashed once again.
Right. It just underscores how difficult, how emotionally draining cold case investigations can be.
Yeah, it takes a toll on everyone involved.
But remember that meticulously preserved DNA evidence.
Right.
That forward thinking proved to be invaluable.
Absolutely. A testament to those investigators who had the foresight to think ahead.
As DNA technology advanced, investigators revisited the case in 2011.
Okay.
Eager to test that semen sample.
Yeah.
But there was a catch, wasn't there?
The testing methods available at the time would have used up the entire sample,
Oh, no.
leaving nothing for future analysis if needed.
So they had a tough decision to make.
They did proceed with the testing and risk destroying that crucial piece of evidence forever. Or,
No.
wait, hold out hope that even more advanced technology would come along.
A true crossroads in the investigation. So what did they decide to do?
They chose to wait.
Wow.
A gamble for sure, but a testament to their patience and their belief that science would ultimately provide the answers.
Incredible. And that brings us to 2024,
Okay.
the year that breathed new life into Kirsten's case.
What happened?
Her nephew, Kirsten, despite never having met his aunt,
Wow.
contacted the podcast, The Deck,
Oh, cool.
determined to keep her memory alive and fight for justice.
Good for him.
His persistence, his refusal to let her story fade away, brought the case back into the spotlight.
I love that. That's amazing.
And his efforts coincided with this monumental shift in DNA technology.
So by 2024,
Yeah,
DNA technology had advanced to the point where they could test the preserved sample without destroying it.
a total game changer.
It's amazing how far science has come, right?
It's like something out of a crime drama.
I know,
The
right?
technology finally catching up with the relentless pursuit of justice.
It really is a testament to human ingenuity and the belief that even the coldest of cases can be solved.
But even with this breakthrough, some questions still linger.
Of course.
We know investigators have this DNA profile,
Mm-hmm.
but did they find a match?
Right?
And if so, who is this person?
Yeah,
What role did they play in Kirsten's life?
exactly. That's what we're going to explore in the final part of our deep dive, so stay with us.
It's been quite a journey, hasn't it?
It really has.
All these twists and turns, dead ends, glimmers of hope,
Mm-hmm.
and this constant search for answers.
You know what really gets me, though, is the impact all of this has had, not just on the victim, but on the family left behind.
Yeah.
You know, they're left grappling with the loss and this desperate need for closure.
It's a weight they carry with them every single day.
It is, and you can't help but admire the tenacity of those involved, especially Kirsten's nephew, Kirsten,
Yeah.
his determination to keep her memory alive. To push for answers after all these years is truly remarkable.
It really is a testament to the strength of those family bonds and the importance of justice, no matter how much time has passed.
Absolutely. Time doesn't diminish the need for answers.
But even with all the progress we've talked about, there are still so many questions surrounding this case.
Oh, for sure.
What really happened at that party at Kirsten's apartment?
Right. Was it just a casual get-together?
Yeah.
Or did something more sinister occur that night?
And who left that bloody fingerprint?
Yeah, was it the killer panicking?
Right.
Or someone else who was maybe a witness who didn't realize what they'd seen?
It's like these questions just linger in the air.
They do, and while we can't go back in time, the advancements in DNA technology offer a glimmer of hope.
Right. A chance to shed light on this case that for so long seemed lost in darkness.
Exactly.
That DNA profile from the semen sample,
Yeah.
it holds so much potential.
It does, but the question everyone's asking is,
Yeah.
did it lead to a match?
Exactly. And unfortunately, that information hasn't been made public yet.
Right, these investigations are incredibly complex,
Yeah.
and confirming a DNA match is just the first step.
Okay.
Investigators need to build a solid case, gather evidence, and determine the extent of the person's involvement.
So even with this potential breakthrough,
Yeah.
there's still a lot of work to be done.
Absolutely. It's a waiting game now. Time for careful analysis and investigation.
But even if this particular lead doesn't pan out, I have a feeling this isn't the end of the story.
I agree. Sergeant Conklin, the detective who's dedicated so much time to this case,
Right.
she's known for her tenacity.
Yeah.
And with Kirsten's family pushing for answers, the pressure to solve this case is only going to increase.
It's a case that really highlights the power of hope and the relentless pursuit of justice.
It does, and it also underscores the importance of public awareness.
Right. Someone out there might hold that missing piece of the puzzle.
Absolutely. Maybe a forgotten memory.
Yeah.
A detail from that party, a rumor they heard.
Any little piece of information could be the key.
Exactly, no matter how small it may seem.
So if you're listening and you know anything about Kirsten Leonard's case,
Mm-hmm.
please contact the Reno Police Department.
Yeah, your tip could be the breakthrough they need.
It could finally bring peace to a family that's been waiting for answers for decades.
It's amazing how sometimes all it takes is one person to make a difference.
It really is, and that's what we're hoping for in this case.
Yeah, a voice from the past to help us understand the present.
Kirsten Leonard deserves justice, and her family deserves answers.
Absolutely.
And with your help, maybe we can finally close the book on this decades-old mystery.
Let's hope so.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
And remember, your voice could be the one that makes all the difference.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and never stop searching for the truth.